Hello everyone, welcome to one more video. Today I happened to watch two videos for two of the YouTubers that I follow. They both live in Florida, Etonic and JLS Comics, and so happened that both of the videos were them preparing for the hurricane that it's getting close to them, and they were basically showing what they're doing to prep in terms of the comic books and what are their plans for the family. So I was thinking if there's any tip that I could help anyone that's been in this situation or that will be in this situation. I've been in a situation like that myself when I was living back in my hometown in Mexico. The Carina hit the coast, and then a couple of years later, I wasn't living there anymore, but Carl hit again the Gulf of Mexico, and I lost all my collection there. I have to basically start from scratch. So I know what people are thinking, what they're going through, and if there's anything that I can do to help them to at least have something to see if they can protect their comic book collection, then I'll be glad to do so. Something that I'm pretty sure maybe a lot of people have thought about it, or maybe not, but I wanted to give it a shot, is back in my hometown. If you ever heard when it rains it pours, they're talking about my hometown. And usually what we do is we put stuff in bags, in plastic bags, so when we go out on the rain and they don't get wet. Whether it is a laptop, a cell phone, or a backpack or anything, we use some plastic bags. I remember there were some days when I was coming out of my house, and there was so much water that in order to walk and not get myself all wet, I will put some trash bags on my feet. Put a couple of trash bags on my feet, on each of my legs, and then wrap them up with tape, and then go outside. Because obviously I didn't have longer boots or working boots or anything, so that was my improvisation of how I could go out of the house. So I thought about how we can do that and apply it to try to protect your comic book collection. So what I have, or what I want to try here, is I'm going to try to put some comic books. These are some doubles that I have that I don't need. Put some comic books in a bag and wrap them up. And I'm going to put them in a bin that I have full completely with water. Well, not completely, but and submerge them and see if this helps. See if this at least helps something on protecting your comic book collection. So here I have just my box, the comic books. I'm using duct tape. I'm not using your regular transparent tape, just because I think the duct tape has better adhesion, and it'll work better underwater. And I went and bought some trash bags. I do have some, but they are the Walmart brand. I don't know if it's my imagination or not, but the more expensive ones seems to have better quality, a little bit more sturdy. Some of the bags are too thin, so they can break easily. So I know I have seen bags that it's almost like they're industrial bags. They're very, very thick. Maybe you can get them at Home Depot. But this one's is just the brand, the best brand that I could buy in Walmart. It cost me $4 for a bag of 10 bags. And I'm going to give it a shot, and we'll see how it goes. I'm going to leave the comic book submerged overnight. And then tomorrow morning I'll come back and I see if this helps or not. So let's get started. What I'm going to do, because I just want to make sure, I'm going to use two bags. I'm going to put the comic book, the box that I'm going to use to put the comic book, I'm going to put it in two bags. I want to be 100% sure as much as possible that I can protect them. I don't know if 3 or more will do, but I think 2 is going to be enough. So I'm going to grab just a few comic books. They're perfect shape, there's nothing wrong with them. I'm just going to put it in this old bag that I have. And then let's grab the first bag. Make sure that when you're doing this that you're careful with the bag. You don't want to tear it or make a hole from where the water, if this works, where the water can go through. You can probably either just put the comic books just by themselves or put them in a box. I just happen to use the box. So I'm just going to wrap them up. Now, if you may not know, there are some dry bags or waterproof bags that a lot of the people that go to rivers, canoeing, rafting, doing kayaks, that they use. And there are special bags that you put all your belongings there, and if you fall to the river, they don't get wet. They sell them in some sports stores, or you can buy them in Amazon. Now, of course, depending on the brand, some are expensive. Some are big enough that they can perfectly fit a long box of comic books. I'll put a link on the comments on the video for the website that I found of them. For what they do, they're not that expensive. But of course, if you don't have that at hand or you don't want to spend the money on them, I just hope that this will do the trick. I'm going to follow those back same principle. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to fold this like this. Hopefully you can see all this in the camera. Let's do this. Close this. Do it like this. And then I'm gonna fold. I don't really care too much how it looks. All I care is I can seal it. And I'm gonna do a couple of twists. A little bit of air, not that it matters, I think. Now that I have the first bag, I'm gonna put it on the second bag. Also, using 2 bags it's also good because if they're not that thick, then it gives an extra protection. For whatever reason you have to brush it, get a furniture or something when you're moving your stuff, then at least, hopefully, only the first bag will scratch, but not the second one. I'm gonna put just a little bit of tape here, just to keep it nice and tight. I'm going to do the same thing. Just gonna wrap this up. I guess on the second bag, I could simply just do a knot here. Do this. Let's do double. Cover it up. Let's cover all the gaps. Make sure that I can cover as much of the gaps that I have. And why not one more? Alright, so I have it all wrapped up. Hopefully I didn't puncture it as I was doing that. And now the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm going to submerge this and leave it overnight and see what I get. Alright everyone, it wasn't as easy as I thought it'll be, but I managed to get it going. You'll see a lot of bulk because when I was wrapping up all the air that was inside of the bags, it was making the box float. So I had to put a couple of 40-pound dumbbells on top of it to keep it submerged. But the box and the comics books are inside. The other problem that I had is when I first tried to submerge it the first time, I saw some bubbles coming out of the bag in one of the corners, so I accidentally punctured it as I was trying to push it underneath the water, so I have to take it out and then wrap it again in the bag. But now that's all said and done, then let's see how it goes. I'm gonna leave it overnight. Hopefully I won't find all that water here in my basement, and I'll take the comics out and we'll see if this little trick work it. See you later. Well, good morning everyone. Looks like at least I didn't wake up finding a mess here in my basement. Everything seems to be holding. The comic books in the box are still submerged in the water, so that's good. They didn't went afloat out of it overnight. So now it's time to take them out and see what happens. See if they're dry or if they're wet. Let's see. Alright, so I took the box out of the water, did a little bit of a mess here, removed the first layer of the bags, and looks dry to me. There's a tad bit of water maybe, yeah, a few little drops, but let's see, how are the comic books? Yeah, definitely some small little drops of water. But the box looks perfectly dry. And the comic books are perfect. Not a single drop of water on them. They are, yeah, they're perfectly fine. So, sounds like my little My little trick with the bags to protect the comic books worked somehow. I mean, it was only under the water probably about 10 hours. Not too sure if we will have the same outcome if they would be longer. Maybe it would be good to add put it on tree bags, put it inside of tree bags. The other thing that I was thinking after I put everything in the water is instead of putting the comic books in a box, for example, you can just grab a little stack of books. I don't know, not too many. Maybe, I don't know, maybe 20 books or so, and then grab your bag. And instead of having them in a box, like instead of wrapping up a long box or a short box with it, just grab your most important and valuable books and then put them in little packages of 20, 25, and then put them in the bag and then perfectly wrap them up. Do a small little package. Perfectly wrap them up on tape, and then put the extra 2 layers of bags, and then after that, then they're gonna be pretty protected, or at least that's gonna be probably the best that you can do. I mean, of course, put them in a high ground, the highest that you can have in your house, and hopefully it'll be fine. But this is something that you can do just to help out. It may not be bulletproof, but looks like it works at some degree, and it's better than nothing, I guess. I mean, I certainly hope that nobody should need to have to use this to protect their comic books, but if you're in the need, then hopefully this will help you guys out. Hopefully this will give you a little bit of extra protection, and your comic books will survive the flooding, and nothing will come to it. I mean, obviously, if you have 20 long boxes and you want to do this, and you don't have too much time, then it's not really a good option. But if at least you can grab, like I said, you can grab the most valuable comics in your collection, even if it's a slab. I wouldn't even trust it just leaving a slab, saying that it won't happen to them just because they're sealed. But at least you can grab the crown jewels of your collection, and then if you cannot take it with you, you have to leave it back, then do this: wrap them up in a couple of trash bags, just duct tape to seal everything, and hopefully they'll be fine. Alright guys, that's it for today. I do hope that this trick will help people to protect their collection in floodings, and stay safe, and see you guys later. Bye bye.